Good noon to all of you. I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, today I'm going to discuss on a topic, the application of stem cell in regenerative medicine. It is very recent advances are going on in the stem cell therapy and stem cells. Before going to the topic on the application, we will try to understand what is the stem cell. What is stem cell? Stem cell is a single cell that can be replicate or differentiate into many cell types. It means it is an unspecialized cell which can form many type of cell like hematopoietic cell, neuronal cells, and NK cells, a lot of cells. It can be will be differentiated into the many type of cells. Characteristics: blank cells. It means is unspecialized, capable of property of proliferation and renewal. It means it is having the capability of dividing and renewing themselves for a long period of time, not like other cells. Having the potential to give rise to specialized cell types, it means it can be differentiated into different cells. On the basis of potency, the stem cell may be of totipotent stem cells, pluripotent stem cells, multipotent stem cells, or unipotent cells. As we heard the term totipotency in Hydra, from one cell of Hydra, the whole Hydra can generate. That is known as the totipotency. It means it can, from one cell, it can give whole organism, or yeah, you can say the whole organism can form by one cell. In case of trafficoderm is there, when a zygote is there is trafficoderm layer that is having a property of totipotency only. Why? See, where the cells can be differentiated into around 200 types of cells, and the inner cell mass in embryonic stem cell is having the property of pluripotency. And multipotent stem cells are those which can give rise to limited range of cells like hematopoietic stem cell or mesenchymal stem cells. On the basis of origin, it may be embryonic stem cell or adult stem cell. Like embryonic stem cell are pluripotent cells derived from the inner cell mass of the cyst at early stage of embryo, around 5 to 6 old age embryo, able to form virtually any type of cell. And in case of adult stem cell, it may be endodermal origin, it may be mesodermal origin, or it may be ectodermal origin. Endodermal, as we know that pulmonary epithelial cells, GISC, gastrointestinal epithelial cells. In case of mesodermal, hematopoietic stem cell, mesenchymal stem cells, bone marrow stem cells, cardiac stem cells, and ectodermal origin are like skin cell, ocular cells. All are having the stem cells. How we can culture the stem cell in case of embryonic stem cell and adult stem cell? You are having a embryo and collect the inner cell mass, and on the matrix, here we use the matrix. On the matrix for the embryonic stem cell, we need the matrix where the cells can grow and they form the embryoid body, and we can culture and use for the further processing. Why in case of adult stem cell, we can take it from the bone marrow or adipocytes or from the umbilical cords or peripheral blood, and simple and floating culture giving the different particular media, we can culture it, and we can, after giving the differential media, it can be differentiated into the different type of cells depending upon your purpose. What is the difference between the embryonic stem cell and adult stem cell? Embryonic stem cells are pluripotent, while adult are multipotent. Embryonic stem cells are stable and can undergo many cell divisions, while adult stem cell have less stable capacity for self-renewal is limited. Embryonic stem cell is easy to obtain, but blastocyst is destroyed. It means you are going to obtain the embryonic stem cell, you are going to kill an individual because you are going to kill a zygote. Yeah, you can say you are going to kill embryo. In case of adult stem cell, it is difficult to isolate. Difficult means it is painful to isolate, but you are not going to kill anybody. And embryonic stem cells are having the ethical concern. That's why embryonic stem cells are having the ethical concern, while adults are not having any concern. And they are having the embryonic stem cell with the possible rejection, immunorejection, because you are going to take it from the particular embryo, and that embryo is not is die, and you are going to use in any human or something. there is a possibility of immunorejection. You have to take care of that one. And in case of adult stem cells, this is not so important because your stem cell can be used for your own therapy. And embryonic stem cell having the property of hypoembryogenic in comparison to the adult stem cells. Now come to the adult stem cell, because these cells are mostly used for the application of regenerative medicine. These are the undifferentiated stem cells found among differentiated cells in a tissue or organ. It can renew itself, can differentiate to L the major specialized cell type of tissue or organ. It means they help in the maintain and repair the tissue in which they are found. Suppose the tissue is injured, it is going in the repair mode. These cells help in the maintenance and repair. Where is the location of stem cell? Stem cell are present in the stem cell niche. They are having a particular niche. They are sent here, and they are a particular microenvironment that foster the growth of resident stem cells. And as and when they require, they differentiate into the different specialized cells, and these are found in the brain, bone marrow, peripheral blood vessels, skeletal muscle. Now, hemopatic stem cell. Here we can say the hemopatic stem cell, the bone marrow, and it is differentiated into the different type like NK cells, neutrophil cells, T cells, B cell, dendritic cells, platelets, erythrocytes, macrophages, and all. Likewise, neuronal stem cells are found in the brain and differentiated into the neurons, interneurons, oligodendrocyte, type 1 astrocyte. Gut stem cells found in the small intestine and form the Paneth cells, goblet cells, endocrine, and so many. Mesenchymal stem cell found in the bone marrow. It can be differentiated into the osteoblasts, chondrocyte, and adipocytes. The stem cells follow two pathways of differentiation. One is the normal differentiation, and another is the trans differentiation or plasticity. It means in case of normal distribution, differentiation, the bone marrow, like here, this bone marrow stem cells are converted into the lymphocytes, T lymphocyte, B lymphocyte, neutrophils, basophils, and all these. In case of plasticity, these bone marrow stem cells can be converted into the liver, not only in the only B cells, T cell. It can be converted into the liver, brain, fat cells, or cardiac cells, or neurons, or epithelial cells. This is very important property. It means the adult stem cell, you can say the mesenchymal stem cell, we can differentiate into the brain cell also by giving some specific media to them. What is the research advantages? In 2006, we know that Yamanaka got the Nobel, in 2012, Yamanaka got the Nobel Prize, and he changed the concept of the stem cell in the whole world. Why? What they did, they have taken the simple your skin cell, and they reprogrammed the cell with the help of OX, Caleb 4 CMS and induced into the iPSC. It changed the total concept of the stem cells into different way. And you can say there is no need to culture or to collect or to treat the embryonic stem cell, because we are going to get the pluripotent stem cell with the help of genetic engineering. Here they have overexpressed the OX, Caleb 4 with the help of vector, and from the mouse embryonic fibroblast, they convert into the induced pluripotent stem cells. An advantage, there is no need for embryos. How they did it? They take a cell, they program it genetically, then got the pluripotent stem cell, then culture it, and then differentiate it into platelets, neural cell, muscles, heart cells, whatever you want for the therapy or what purpose you are working. These are the articles say how the work is going on in the stem cells. What is the application of, come to the point, what is the application of adult stem cell in regenerative medicine? It can be used for the gene delivery, bone marrow, bone therapy, adipose tendon repair, ligament repair, cartilage repair, cardiac muscle cell. It means it has a wide range of application, potentiality to can be used. These are the something I have told you how the stem cell is going. It is not that they are. It is used in the cosmetic also. First, I would like to say, what is regenerative medicine? Process of creating living, functional tissue to repair or replace tissue, organ, function lost due to age, disease, damage, or congenital defect. It means we are not going to give any drug here. We are trying to replace the whole organ are the cell which are diseased one. And these stem cells cannot be only used alone. With the help of genetic engineering, we can treat the genetic disorder with the help of stem cell. Like, suppose you are going to treat sickle cell anemia and take the mouse skin cell, collect it, then reprogram the embryonic stem cell into the iPSC, and then correct it with the, you can use any technique, RNAi, CRISPR Cas9, and this genetically modified iPSC cell can be inserted into the mouse, and then the required mouse will come. It means we can use it in for the treatment of those diseases which cannot be treated by the in normal cases. Yeah, there is a problem of heart problem is coming. The bone marrow stem cell transplanted to damaged heart can generate heart muscle cell and successfully repopulate the heart tissue in the mice. Experiment worked on where we know that the cardiocytes are not easy to repair, and in coming days there is a lot of problem of angina, and you can say the heart problem is coming. Here they did experiment. You can directly use the stem cell for the treatment of regeneration of cardiac muscle that is very difficult to regenerate them. Here one case I am overlating, that's why I put the slide. In case of horses, there is a problem. Suppose there is a wound, it cannot be easily treated because they are having the high glucose in their body, and that's why if infection occurs, it is very difficult to treat. Here, the use of high-density platelet-rich plasma in equine open wound. Treat this wound, and in case of superficial distal flexor, it is injured in a racehorse, and it is treated by the mesenchymal stem cell therapy, and it win the race. We can grow the lungs tissue with the help of stem cell. There is a hope that we are suffering from the corona and all these things. In coming future, definitely we have hope from the stem cell. And human skin cells regrow hair in the mice. It means there is a possibility, work is going on, that we can grow the hair with the help of stem cell. It means bald persons are having the opportunity. Germline stem cell therapy, stem cell can be used for the germline stem cell therapy because you are having any genetic disorder, then it will pass generation to generation. And here we can use the stem cell for that one. It can be leukemia. What is leukemia? In leukemia, use the bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow is nothing. That is a stem cell transplantation. If one way to do this is through chemotherapy, when chemotherapy cannot solve this problem, then we go for the bone marrow transplant. And this is nothing, the stem cell. Another Parkinson disease. It is a central nervous disorder. So the patient suffers from a lack of the brain chemical that is called the dopamine. And if we insert these cells, which can generate multiply the cells that release the dopamine, then it can be treated. And it means stem cell is used. You can say there is a hope for the Parkinson's disease also. Insulin dependent, a very important problem in the, you can say nowadays there is diabetes. Every person is going to become a diabetic. There is an insulin dependence for the type 1 diabetic patient. Studies show patients receiving injection with the adult cells were able to go as long as 4 years without having on insulin shots. It means the coming future, your beta cells can be replaced by the stem cell, and it can be treated with the help of stem cell. And you definitely will go with the diabetes also. Healing of heart. This you can say the Vessel is a private company. They are using this for the coronary heart disease, cardiomyopathy, and congestive heart failure. It is commercially available, and the cardiologists in the foreign are using this therapy. This is a stem cell based therapy for the healing of a heart. Very common injury, that is a stem that is spinal cord injury. That is very you can say painful. If you are injured with the spinal cord injury, you will paralyze. You can you will be on the bed. But with the help of stem cell, there is a hope. Bone marrow taken from the hip, 6 weeks of cultivating the adult stem cell to increase the total of 10 million population. And these adult stem cells are injected into C3, C4 in surgical process, and that patient cure with the help of stem cell. Thalassemia, it is very important genetic disorder, and most of the people is going to, they used to diagnose it before implantation, because if there is a loss of synthesis of one of the globulin chain that make the hemoglobin, and it can be treated only with the stem cell, hematopoietic stem cell. Curing the cancer can be cured with the stem cells, and this is the Lizare, I think so. They got the stem cell therapy, and Lizare undergo the stem cell transplant for the blood cancer, and she cured with this one. What we are doing at Animal Biotechnology Center, being a veterinarian, we try to how we can get the faster healing of fractured bone in the goat, dog, and all these things. What we did, we have collected the bone marrow from the epiphysis, and they have cultured, and after culturing, we have differentiated into the chondrocytes, osteocytes, and adipocytes for the characterization, and this is a staining. We stain it with the Alcian blue, 1-Costa method, and royal red. These are the adipocyte, so the fat cells. This is a osteoblast. This is stained with the osteocytes, and this is a chondrocytes. And these stem cells are characterized with the cell surface antigen also, with the real-time PCR we use for the characterization, and cryosphere for these cells, and use with the help of surgery department, we use in the treatment of the fractured bone, and we got the very good results. And now we are going to use the stem cells, adult stem, mesenchymal stem cell, along with some scaffold, because scaffold is giving the more strength in the case of fracture, and we are using the scaffold along with the stem cell for the healing of the fracture, and we got good results in the long bones. At last, I can conclude that the adult stem cell is complicated and rapidly changing. When Yamanaka got the Nobel Prize, she told that don't use the stem cell radically, because it may be differentiated to the different thing. That's why I use the stem cell very cautiously. And today's medicine generally try to support or treat injured tissue and organs, but stem cell may someday simply replace them. And the work is going on the 3D printing. In coming future, definitely, you don't worry, you are not going to search the heart for yourself. Your own heart will get printed on the 3D, and it is transplanted. A very fast work is going on a 3D organ printing. It means suppose I lose any organ, our kidney, our heart, yeah, something problem is there, then it can be printed with the 3D printing technology. And in 3D printing technology, the stem cell are used for the disease and all things. Thank you, madam.